One of the things we know in conference play, you got to have a short memory, whether you win or lose. And obviously, we had a bump in the road against a Tennessee team that found a way to protect the home court. We didn't play particularly well, but I think the good thing about it is on Wednesday the sun came up, and so we get a chance to hopefully get to practice and do it again and get better. Playing against an Ole Miss team that's playing really good. They lost a tough game to LSU last night, but we're looking at a team that's added 2 transfers, the Moody kid and the Rhett kid. And I think they're dynamite players for them. So it's a very athletic team. They win and won at some tough places. They beat Cincinnati early in the year. They beat Creighton. They played a really good schedule, and they've been tested. So we're going to get Ole Miss's best shot, and we're coming off of a tough loss where we just thought defensively, and between defense, not playing defense up to our standards and turning the ball over. I think that's one of the things that really bothered me. I was more disappointed in that, but I wasn't discouraged because of the fight, the resilience that we showed in trying to get back in that game. I had an opportunity to tie it up with 3 free throws, and it didn't take place, so it'd be one of those lessons learned. But you got to have short-term memory to move on to the next game.
Mike, speaking of missed free throws, how do you think Anton Beard's dealing with that?
Anton's going to be fine. I think you got to be in those kind of situations in order to learn from it, and he put us in position to have an opportunity to tie that game. So next time, I'm sure he'll be a guy that go up there and knock him down. And hopefully, we won't be in a situation where we have to make 3 free throws. But given that opportunity, he put us in position to have a chance, and that's all you can ask for.
Did you talk to him, like maybe on the ride home, or
No, right after. I just told him, hey, man, you played your butts off. You put us in that position. I love your toughness. I just love your heart. And if we can get everybody to playing with the same kind of heart he plays with, you're talking about a dynamite team, we'll be a dynamite team.
You know, there's going to be a carryover from that?
No, he's going to be fine. I mean, we'll see.
Tennessee game, do you figure there are going to be some copycats where teams press you and play a lot of zone again?
Well, I hope so. I mean, we press every day. And so I don't know if that particular night we didn't do a good job of attacking it. To have 18 turnovers, I don't know if I've had a team that had that many turnovers in a game since I've been here. I don't know. And we may have. But especially in a conference game. And I just think that's being real sloppy with the basketball. We weren't strong with it. We talked about, Tennessee was going to be a team that they were going to fight. They had to. And they just lost a tough game with Alabama, didn't score in the second half. So you were going to get their best shot. And that's why I said I was disappointed, because we didn't value the basketball. And when you go and play, whether it be home or on the road, all right, somebody's jamming there. I think it's Dudley. Dudley get the honors of jamming today. But teams are going to fight and scratch and claw, and you've got to be able to stand up to the punches that are going to be thrown. And we just didn't do a good job, especially in the second half.
The turnovers, 7 of the 10 guys that played had multiple turnovers for you. Where do you feel like the mindset was going into that, and do you think that has anything to do with learning how to handle success?
Well, you want to say that, because I thought we were very casual with the basketball. That's the most casual, our team has been, and that's on me to make sure they understand that, number one is you value each and every possession, because every single day, that's the one thing we talk about. We want to pressure and cause havoc on defense, but we value the basketball, and to see the counter turnovers that took place, just long, high passes, but guys just touching the balls out of guys' hands. We had about 3 or 4 travels where guys traveling with the basketball. So, and some of that can be attributed to being quick and in a hurry. I think sometimes you can be quick and in a hurry, and I think that was some of the case, and then of course you start pressing a little bit, you start panicking a little bit. We had 9 in the first half, 9 in the second half, but we'll clean that up. That won't be an issue. We'll clean that up.
Did you have a conversation maybe after last season or during the offseason with Michael Qualls about becoming more consistent during games and not disappearing during stretches? And how do you think he's been able to do that this year?
Better. I think Mike's better, but I think still there's another level he can go to. I think we've seen Bobby ascend to a certain level, and I think when I look at Mike's, he's playing quite a few minutes, and as you play those kind of minutes, you're accountable for some certain things, but we've got to have some other guys to step up too. It can't just be Bobby and Mike. We've got to have Kai playing at a high level. We've got to have Landers playing well, one of our toughest guys that you got to have on the road, and he's played some of his best basketball on the road. So we've got to have him step up and play well for us.
Bobby, have y'all seen a weakness on the other team and blocking him out? Because the last 2 games he had 9 offensive boards against Vandy and then 5 offensive boards against Tennessee. It seems like he's been attacking that part of the game well.
Well, he's putting himself in there. We're missing a lot of shots, so he's putting himself in position. I mean, he's long, he's lanky, and I guess that says he's active now.
I guess Watkins had 27 minutes and no turnovers. Pretty happy with his overall performance.
Again, those guys, you look at Manuel, you look at Anton, I mean, those guys didn't have any problems taking care of the basketball because I think they value that. And so, Manuel's playing at a high level. I think he when he comes in the game, there's a distinct difference in the game. I call those guys my blue-collar guys, and those guys got to continue to work because I think they will play the type of defense we want to play. I didn't think our defense was as strong as it's got to be, and even as bad as we played, we still had a chance to tie the game up going down the stretch. So we've got to clean up those areas from a defensive standpoint, protecting the rim, and they score too many points in the paint. And make them take tough shots, rebound the basketball, and be efficient on offense, which is something we've done all year long.
During your first time here with your assistant, y'all had some very, very tough guards, mentality, defensive, all that. Does Anton remind you of those guys, and also maybe even some of those guys that went to Ole Miss and played against y'all?
I think Anton gives you a guy that got a big heart, and I think Manuel Watkins fit that bill. When you talk about guys that play with toughness, they don't back down from anybody, and we've got to have some more guys to play with that attitude, that mindset, because I think when you play in tough venues or just tough games, those guys, to me, they have pride on defense about stopping people. The bodies mean nothing to them. They loose balls. They get after that. They just cause havoc. And I think you win with good guards. You really win big with good guards.
What's the latest on Keaton Miles? Is he still dealing with injury? Or
I think he's coming along. In practice, he seemed like he's getting more and more active. And there's another guy that hopefully could be a stopper, a shot blocker, a rebounder for us, a slashing forward. We've got to get some fresh energy, with this basketball team. I just think at where we're at this point in this season, we've got to get somebody kind of can ignite us. We see a Manuel come in and ignite us at times. We've seen Ja'Cory come in and do it at times. You got to have somebody that can ignite your team coming from that bench.
Do you think they have had trouble just breaking the rotation?
He's close. He's really, really close. I mean, it won't be out of the realm of possibility that he'll play in this game. Because I really believe he brings some of the things that I'm looking for. He's 6'5". He can rebound as a guard. He can really keep dribble penetration out of there. Just has good basketball IQ, and so it's just a matter of him getting on the floor.
Mike, for all the years you guys have been in the SEC, Arkansas's never won the first 2 road games. So I know you're probably not on Twitter.
Never what now?
Arkansas's never won its first 2 SEC road games, even the national title team, the runner-up. Do you think people may be overreacting to one loss? I mean, I know you probably don't go on Twitter, but some of the fans are like freaking out.
Oh, they are? That's besides me. I mean, we've played 3 games. We've lost 1 game in conference play. We won 7 in a row. I think we're trending in the right direction. I mean, we had a bump. A lot of teams have bumps, and so the good teams, I think they have short-term memories, and they figure out the things that they got to do right to get better. This team will continue to get better, and there are times when you take a little step back, and the step back for us, to me, was, and it kind of opened my eyes up, was valuing the basketball. We turned the ball over entirely too much.
When Look at Moody. What do you think he's brought to Ole Miss?
Well, he's a guy that, just like the Henderson kid, he really can put the ball in the hole. I think he's fast, so he's really fast with the basketball. He can put up some numbers for him and has tremendous range. And of course, Summers is an all-SEC performer. I think the Rhett kid is really big for them. They're very athletic. They have the same team, minus the Henderson kid, but they bring in those guys, the transfers, and Moody and Rhett. But Moody is a guy that he's athletic for a 5'10" guard, can really elevate and put, he can get buckets is what he can get. And so we've got to do a good job of finding him, and whether it be in transition, whether it be from rotating and fixing things on defense, we got to be aware of him. And Summer can get into the lane and really cause havoc. They got two really, really good guards. And not to leave out Ladarius White, who's playing as well as he's playing since he's been at Ole Miss. So they're three guards. Three perimeter players are dynamite.
And he said even last year with all the hoopla for Henderson, the Jarvis Summers was their best player. What is it about his game that impresses you?
He's got plays with poise. I think he's a guard that can play both positions. He can score for you. He can distribute the basketball. He doesn't panic. He's experienced. I mean, he's been starting since he was a freshman.
The fact they played so well at Kentucky, you figure they'll come in with really not much fear here.
Oh, they're going to come to play. It's going to be a well of a game. They just lost, so they're steaming from that loss, and we're steaming from a loss as well. So it should be a great game, great atmosphere.
I guess Bobby said after the game you're going to kill them in practice today, and you guys are saying they might not need IVs. Today going to be pretty intense?
It would be very intense, very intense.